In this video, we will learn how to prove two triangles are congruent using the right hypotenuse side congruence test. We say RHS for short. Before that, let's quickly find out what right hypotenuse side means. Firstly, the triangle has a right angle. So, R represents the right angle. Secondly, opposite the right angle is the longest side of the triangle, also known as the hypotenuse. So, H represents the hypotenuse side. And lastly, the triangle has two other sides, this and this. So, S represents either of these shorter sides. Now, let's see how we can use the RHS congruence test to prove that two triangles are congruent. In this problem, we want to prove that triangle GHI and JIH are congruent. Remember, this means we need to identify a set of properties to explain why the two triangles have exactly the same shape and size. How do we start? Like always, let's first consider what information we are given. We know that the length of GH is 5 centimeters, and the length of its corresponding side, JI, is also 5 centimeters. So, one pair of the corresponding sides is equal. What else do we know? Well, notice that triangle GHI and JIH are actually right-angled triangles. This means that angle HGI and angle IJH are 90 degrees each. One pair of corresponding angles is equal. Now, is there anything else that we know? Notice that this side here, which is actually the hypotenuse, is common to both triangles. This means that the length of HI in triangle GHI is equal to the length of IH in triangle JIH. Another pair of corresponding sides is equal. Therefore, we say that triangle GHI is congruent to triangle JIH by the right hypotenuse side congruence test. Now, let me ask you a question. When we want to prove two right-angled triangles are congruent, does this mean we should use the RHS congruence test? To find out, let's consider this problem here, where we need to prove that triangle GHI is congruent to triangle GJI. Firstly, what information are we given? Well, we know that angle GIH and angle GIJ are right angles. This means that one pair of corresponding angles is equal. Secondly, we know that angle GHI is 60 degrees, and so is angle GJI. This means that another pair of corresponding angles is equal. We also know that GI is the common side in both triangles. Notice that here we are not given information about the hypotenuse, but if you look at the statements that we have, we know two angles and one side, which means triangle GHI is congruent to triangle GJI by the angle-angle side congruence test. So remember, not all right-angled triangles must necessarily be proven using the RHS congruence test. Which test to use very much depends on the information we have. Got it?